Hey, all you possum watchers out there. I'm the human behind the camera most days. I hadn't really planned on doing a segment about the prong collar that Pepper wears, but lately it has gotten a lot of attention. As with most things related to our pets, it's somewhat controversial. So I thought I would discuss responsible usage, training, and the all-important question about whether it actually hurts the dog. So without further ado, let's discuss the prong collar. I want to start at the beginning of our experience. We got Pepper in 2019 when she was about 10 weeks old. We already had a Labrador, Daisy, who was about 13 years old at the time. We had learned with Daisy how difficult it can be to train a dog once some bad behaviors have taken over, so we decided early on that boarded training would be in Pepper's future. At about 8 months of age, Pepper spent 2 weeks in basic boarded doggie training. She learned leash walking, come on command, return by whistle, and some other basic skills. A few short months later, Daisy began the senior decline. She would refuse to eat, we had to coax her outside, and just other general symptoms of older age. At this point, Pepper started reacting to Daisy trying to eat. We'd never had problems before, but after doing some reading, we decided to do separated feedings to see if that would alleviate some of the stress. In the meantime, we were taking Pepper to a local membership dog park. She was going to doggy day camp and would sometimes accompany me to work. I noticed signs of reactivity while at work, out with other friends' dogs, and we started having the dreaded conversation with the wonderful woman that owned the boarding and doggy day care facility about Pepper's activities when she was there. To not drag out this portion, Pepper was kicked out of doggy daycare for a 3-strike aggressive behavior. She attacked our senior dog at least 3 times, one of which led to an ER visit and stitches on the hand of my husband, an attack on another dog while at a school function. It began to affect our relationship with Pepper and within our family. I was upset, distraught, untrusting. I was always afraid of what was going to happen. I began to research how to rehome dogs with aggressive behavior. I even wrote her posting. I never once entertained the idea that putting her down was the solution. But we had other animals, a senior dog, and a younger kid at home. I couldn't take the chance that someone was going to become seriously injured, or in the case of a cat, die. I called several trainers that claimed to specialize in reactive and aggressive behavior. I had phone interviews with many of them. The conversations ranged from, "I'm sorry, I don't think we can take your situation," to, "Well, it sounds like your dog doesn't want to be around other animals, so stop putting her in that situation." None of these are realistic scenarios unless we lived in the middle of nowhere and never had neighbors, friends over, or go to the vet. One evening, in a last-ditch effort to not go the rehoming route, I started another search online. I guess my search phrases were slightly different because a new option popped up. He did an in-home interview where he met us, Pepper, and saw our dynamics. So began our training journey. Before our first session, I was instructed to purchase 2 tools to help us humans with our ability to correct our dog quickly, efficiently, and only when needed. Those 2 things were a Herm Sprenger collar and an e-collar. Yup, 2 things I swore I would never ever use. I was now being instructed by our personal trainer to get them and get them before our first session. Our trainer also handed me a binder that included his philosophy on dog training, examples, what our process would look like, why he does what he does, and he said, "Start reading." The idea was to become familiar and comfortable with why we were doing what we were doing. Here are a few of the biggest takeaways. 1. Between dogs, positive is really the absence of negative. I'm going to repeat that. Between dogs, positive is really the absence of negative. 2. Dogs are most interested in pleasing themselves. We talked about this one a lot. Our trainer reminded me all the time, Pepper wants what is best for her. Pets, treats, to snuggle on the couch with you. She doesn't care how it makes you feel. Number 3. Unaddressed, inappropriate behavior is self-reinforcing. 4. While extremely smart, dogs are not capable of reasoning. 5th, everyone uses some form of punishment in dog training. This was a big one for me, and the one I will spend some time using in comparisons. Number 6, closely followed by, the goal is to minimize the negative. We can control our dog situations and can provide consistency in their role. I know that's a lot of information, but I believe it is important in understanding the role of the prong collar in dog training and corrective behavior. I'm going to say this again. I am not a dog trainer. I am a pet owner who needed help with a reactive dog. Reactive dogs don't always react aggressive, but ours did, and we needed to be able to control the inappropriate behavior no matter when it happened. So let's hit on a few examples of training. How about the most basic, a cat and dog interaction, or even substitute in dog pack behavior. When the dog chases the cat, he gets exactly what he wants. However, if the cat takes a stand and swipes at the dog with its claws, the dog will usually learn to give the cat its space. There were so many comments about harnesses, gentle leads, or head collars in reaction to seeing Pepper in our prong collar. However, this is not any more positive than the prong collar. The only reason this works is because the dog does not like the sensation of having his head pulled to one side or the other. So his reward for not pulling is not getting his head pulled. Squirt bottles, shake hands, alternative phrases besides no are all using some form of punishment. The positive reward in all of these is the absence of a negative. Water in the face. No! Sounds. A collar. The degree of punishment is different, but punishment just the same. Any form of correction could be used inappropriately. Even flat collars, if worn incorrectly and used in the form of training we learned with our first dog, the stop and wait method, could cause damage to a dog's neck or damage their trachea. I try and show that the prong collar is not sharp. It can't cut, poke, or otherwise damage or injure the dog. When sized properly, the collar fits the dog's neck, and only when pulled taut quickly does it become uncomfortable. It's not meant to choke the dog, as it is so commonly called by some people. The goal is minimum negative and release. When you do A, the result is B. In our months of training, we worked on creating the new wanted behavior C, a calm, cool, collected dog, learning to skip behavior A that resulted in effect B. What we ultimately were training for was the absence of the negative altogether. I can't say it enough. Prong collars can be used inappropriately with dogs. They can be used as mean tools to harm a dog. However, using a chain and a flat collar to tie a dog up in a yard all day in all types of weather is cruel punishment. But that doesn't make a flat collar and a leash on their own cruel. Just like the proper use of a prong collar in training isn't evil. I could spend hours creating videos to walk through the training we received over months. It would take days of videos to go through our trainer's philosophy. I still believe I wouldn't convince everyone that prong collars aren't cruel. But what I do hope I do is advocate that people learn to use them properly. Seek the help of a certified trainer if you have a reactive or aggressive dog. Humans have to learn how to use the tools properly to have a healthy and happy relationship with your dog. Owning pets is not an inexpensive hobby. It's work. It's like having a small child that needs constant attention, care, feeding, and training. And make sure and get your pet spayed or neutered. I'll make sure and put some resources in the description below. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all found this helpful.